Welcome, everyone. We're diving deep today into Trump, The Art of the Deal. It's a huge bestseller, part autobiography, part business advice, and, well, a whole lot of Donald Trump.
You could say that again?
It gives a really fascinating look, I think we can agree, into the mind of a guy who, for better or for worse, became incredibly famous.
Yeah. It's a real product of its time, 1987.
Absolutely.
That whole era of booming but kind of volatile real estate. The book captures Trump's persona, I guess you'd call it, as this bold, even brash deal maker, not afraid to boast, and he definitely wants to make sure you know that he believes in thinking big.
Oh, yeah, he practically leaps off the page from the intro,
Right.
declaring that deals are like his art form.
Uh-huh.
He even compares himself, to artists and poets.
Oh, yeah.
I'm curious, from a business perspective, what do you make of that level of self-belief?
Well, it's certainly striking.
It is.
And it speaks to, I think, a core theme of the book, Trump's just unwavering confidence in himself. He really believes in his instincts, his ability to assess a situation and make the right call. Whether that's always the case, debatable.
Debatable.
But it's clearly like a driving force for him.
Yeah, and that confidence is on full display in that chapter where he walks us through week in the life, no briefcase, meetings popping up constantly, calls coming in constantly.
Yeah.
It's organized chaos, but like on a grand scale.
It really is. Yeah, it paints this picture of someone with just relentless energy, almost like operating on a different plane.
Yeah.
This isn't the typical executive, sitting in a corner office.
Right.
Trump seems to thrive on being in the middle of the action, constantly juggling deals and opportunities.
And he's not just like sitting behind a desk. He's out there making things happen.
Oh, yeah.
Like that story where he steps in to help a farmer facing foreclosure.
Oh, right.
Calls up the bank, threatens a lawsuit, leverages his media presence, and gets the bank to back down.
Amazing.
It's like watching, almost like watching a one-man show.
Those anecdotes are sprinkled throughout the book.
Totally.
And they really highlight Trump's approach to things. He's not afraid to use, kind of unconventional tactics to play hardball, to make a scene if necessary.
Right.
He sees it as part of the game, like part of the art of the deal.
Yeah, and it definitely raises the question of whether those same traits, that bring him success might also lead to conflict down the road. But it's interesting how he ties his approach back to his upbringing.
Oh, yeah.
He talks about his parents' contrasting influences, his father's focus on pragmatism and efficiency versus his mother's appreciation for, showmanship.
It's a fascinating dynamic. Fred Trump, his father, was a very successful builder of affordable housing.
He was.
He emphasized practicality, delivering quality work on time and under budget.
Right.
And you can really see how that shaped Donald's approach to business. He learned from his father the importance of, as he puts it, delivering the goods.
Yeah, and he shares some pretty insightful stories about his dad's business practices.
Yeah.
Like how Fred Trump would undercut competitors by building faster and more efficiently while still maintaining high standards. It's like a blueprint for maximizing profit and control, which seems to be a core principle for Donald as well.
Absolutely. But then you have Mary Trump, his mother,
Right.
who brought, a totally different element to the equation. She loved the glamour, the spectacle. Think about Trump Tower with its pink marble and gold accents.
Oh, yeah.
That's not just about efficiency.
No.
It's about creating a certain image, a sense of grandeur. It's like he blended both his parents' approaches into his own unique style.
It really makes you think about how those early family dynamics, can shape a person's entire worldview.
Right.
But it wasn't all smooth sailing for Trump. He talks about moving to Manhattan and trying to break into that elite real estate world.
Right.
He recounts the story of trying to join Lick Club, this very exclusive social club. He gets rejected initially,
Oh, wow.
which must have been a blow to his ego.
I imagine so. But that rejection actually reveals something I think pretty interesting about Trump.
Okay.
He didn't give up. He was persistent. He was even charming his way in eventually.
Wow.
He understood the importance of networking, of being seen in the right circles, even if it meant having to play by their rules, at least initially.
It's a real testament to his social intelligence,
Yeah.
his ability to navigate those power dynamics.
For sure.
And that leads us to his first major project in Manhattan, the Grand Hyatt Hotel.
Okay.
It was a huge undertaking, a complete renovation of the existing Commodore Hotel, and he faced all sorts of obstacles.
The city was in a financial crisis, lenders were skeptical, and preservationists pushed back against his plans.
Yeah.
But he managed to leverage that crisis to his advantage, securing tax breaks from the city and ultimately transforming the Commodore into like this gleaming symbol of his ambition.
He clearly wasn't afraid to take risks. Even when the stakes were high, he gambled on his vision, and it paid off. But it also raises questions about whether it's ethical to profit from a city's financial struggles. What are your thoughts on that?
It's a really complex issue, and the book doesn't shy away from those ethical dilemmas. Trump presents his perspective, arguing that he was bringing jobs and revitalizing a neglected area.
Yeah.
But it's definitely something for us to consider. How developers balance their own interests with the needs of the community.
The Grand Hyatt was a turning point for Trump, establishing him as a major player in Manhattan real estate.
Right.
But it was just the beginning. He had his sights set on something even bigger, even bolder.
Trump Tower.
Trump Tower.
Trump Tower was a whole other level of ambition.
It was.
It was a statement, a skyscraper designed to bear his name and to stand as a symbol of his success. But securing the site, navigating zoning laws, dealing with community opposition, it was a battle from start to finish.
He had to use every tool in his arsenal,
Yeah.
from negotiation to legal maneuvering to media savvy. And in the end, he managed to pull it off, creating a building that, love it or hate it, became an iconic part of the New York City skyline.
And it wasn't just the building, right?
Right.
Trump, he really understood the importance of location.
Yeah.
Of creating this sense of exclusivity and luxury. He strategically went after that Bonwit Teller site on Fifth Avenue.
Right next to Tiffany's.
Right next to Tiffany & Co.
It's fascinating how he talks about leveraging the air rights from Tiffany's.
Oh, yeah.
He basically bought the space above their building, which allowed him to build Trump Tower taller.
Yeah, yeah.
That's not something I think most people would even think about, but it really shows how he's always looking for an edge.
For sure.
A creative solution to a problem.
For those who may not be familiar, air rights are essentially the right to use the space above a property.
Right.
So imagine you own a building, but someone nearby wants to build taller, right? They could buy your air rights, allowing them to build higher without blocking your views or your sunlight.
Right.
It's a valuable commodity, especially in a dense city like New York.
That's a great explanation. It makes you realize how much goes on kind of behind the scenes in these big real estate deals. But Trump Tower wasn't without its controversies.
Oh, no.
There was that whole uproar over the demolition of the Art Deco sculptures from the Bonwit Teller building.
Right. That's a great example of the kind of push and pull between development and preservation.
Yeah.
Those sculptures were beautiful, and a lot of people felt they felt that they should have been saved. But Trump argued that it just wasn't feasible to incorporate them into the new design. He even claimed, later on that he regretted the decision.
Right.
But at the time, he saw it as a necessary sacrifice.
It seems like, those kinds of tough choices are just part and parcel of the real estate world. You have to balance these competing interests and make decisions that might not please everyone. And speaking of making tough choices, the book really dives into Trump's deal-making philosophy in a chapter called The Elements of the Deal. He kind of lays out his core principles, those Trumpisms that have become so well known.
Right. It's like a crash course in the art of the deal, according to Trump. He talks about the importance of, thinking big, not being afraid to go after these really ambitious projects.
Right.
He emphasizes protecting the downside.
Okay.
Always having a plan B, knowing when to walk away from a deal if it's not working out.
He's a big believer in using leverage, right?
Oh, yeah.
Finding ways to, exert pressure to get the best possible terms.
Yeah.
He even talks about playing hardball, not being afraid to push back if someone's trying to, take advantage of him.
He's certainly not shy about using his name and his reputation to his advantage.
No.
He understands the power of publicity, of creating a buzz around his projects.
And he's not afraid to stir up a little controversy if it gets people talking.
Yeah.
Remember that time he accidentally leaked a story about Prince Charles buying an apartment in Trump Tower?
Oh, right. Yeah.
It turned out to be false,
Yeah.
but it generated a ton of headlines.
Oh, yeah.
And put Trump Tower, in the international spotlight.
Yeah. It's all part of his strategy to get the word out, to enhance the perceived value of his property.
He is a master of promotion. of playing to people's aspirations.
Totally.
He's selling a lifestyle,
Yeah.
an image of success and exclusivity.
But he also stresses the importance of, delivering the goods.
Yeah.
Of actually following through on his promises.
Right.
He criticizes developers who try to imitate, Trump Tower's grand atrium, but then sheep out on the details.
Yeah.
He believes in quality, in creating something that, actually lives up to the hype.
It's that combination, I think, of vision, showmanship and attention to detail that makes him such a fascinating figure. He's not just building buildings, he's building like a brand, an empire.
An empire. And he's not afraid to fight back when he feels attacked or underestimated.
Yeah.
He sees it as a necessary part of doing business, especially in that cutthroat world of New York real estate.
Right.
He even embraces conflict, viewing it as a way to test his mettle and prove his strength.
But that combative approach can also be, a double-edged sword.
Oh, for sure.
He talks about how success can breed jealousy and envy, how he's constantly dealing with people trying to bring him down. He even has a term for them, life's losers.
Right.
It's a very black and white view of the world, winners and losers.
That's one of the most, I think, striking things about The Art of the Deal.
Yep.
It's not just a business book. It's like a window into Trump's mindset, his worldview.
It really is.
He's very open about his beliefs, his values, even his flaws.
And that's what makes it such a compelling read, even all these years later. It's not just about real estate. It's about, ambition, drive, the pursuit of success on your own terms, whether you admire him or loathe him. There's no denying that Donald Trump is a force to be reckoned with.
Mm-hmm.
So after spending time with The Art of the Deal, what are your main takeaways?
Mm-hmm.
It feels like we've gotten this glimpse into like this complex and often contradictory figure who went on to become, well, the Donald Trump we know today.
Yeah, I think the book, it really does reveal a lot about his core values. This belief in bold action.
Right.
That instinct to, think big, even if it ruffles some feathers along the way. It's fascinating how he ties those values back to like lessons learned from his father.
Yeah.
That real focus on efficiency and delivering tangible results.
And yet, there's also this undeniable influence from his mother.
Oh, totally.
That appreciation for like showmanship and creating, a spectacle. It's like he embodies both sides of that coin, the pragmatic builder and the flamboyant showman.
It's true. And that duality, I think, is reflected in his deal-making style.
Yeah.
He's clearly a shrewd negotiator, always looking for leverage, calculating his next move. But he's also, willing to take risks.
Right.
To bet on himself and his vision, even when others might hesitate.
The Commodore Hotel is a perfect example, right?
Yeah.
He saw the potential in this like rundown property that others had dismissed.
Totally.
And he turned it into a success despite facing all this, skepticism and setbacks. It takes a certain kind of confidence, a belief in like your own abilities to pull that off.
And that confidence, that unwavering self-belief is a recurring theme throughout the book, I think.
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't shy away from boasting about his achievements.
No, he doesn't.
And he's quick to dismiss, those who criticize him as losers or haters.
It can be a bit grating at times.
Oh, yeah.
But it's also, I think, undeniably part of his appeal. He's not afraid to be himself, even if that means being, brash or controversial. And that authenticity, that willingness to break the mold really resonated with a lot of people.
Yeah, it's interesting to consider how those same traits that made him a successful businessman might also have shaped his approach to other areas of his life.
Right.
Like his foray into politics, for instance. Did that focus on winning at all costs?
Right.
That disdain for compromise, did it translate into the realm of, diplomacy and governance?
That's a question, worth pondering.
Yeah.
The Art of the Deal provides some clues.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it's up to each reader to draw their own conclusions.
I think the book, it offers this really fascinating glimpse into the mind of a man who, for better or worse, has left an indelible mark, on the world. It's a story about ambition, risk-taking, and the relentless pursuit of success told in, Trump's own inimitable style.
And it's a story that continues to unfold, even decades after it was first published.
Sure.
Whether you admire him or revile him, there's no denying that Donald Trump and The Art of the Deal have become a part of like American culture.
Yeah.
A reflection of, I think, our fascination with success, power, and the allure of the deal. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Absolutely.
We hope it's, sparked some thoughts.
Yeah.
Maybe even inspired you to check out the book for yourself. Until next time.